biggest breadcrumb in the history of the world. Listen to it all.
Big news for Voltage Valley becoming an even bigger part of the electric vehicle industry. The technology is developing, and so is the need for workers. And a new partnership was designed to help fill that need. Foxconn and YSU signed an agreement today to start a national EV training and innovation center. It will be on the Foxconn property in Lordstown. The goal is to train workers for a job in the electric vehicle industry.
One of our pillars as an institution is to do everything we can do to impact our region.
The education will help support EV building and its workforce needs. It will address a knowledge and skilled experience gap, plus find the people who want more specialized training.
On the other end of the spectrum, we have controls engineers and software engineers that we're still in need of, and we have to train them at the same time. So mix of all talents and experiences.
Foxconn is talking big. VP of Operations Rick Raji said 20 groups may want to produce an electric vehicle here. He knows the National Training Center will help him find the workers.
You just can't post something in LinkedIn, hope for the best. You have to tackle this workforce from very unorthodox, innovative fashion. And this is the reason we're here today.
Foxconn envisions its other partners being involved too, including suppliers who may end up having local facilities in the Voltage Valley. The center is expected to have a national reach to help the electric vehicle industry fill its needs.
The only way we will seize this moment is to think big.
Foxconn says it's preparing to train and hire the students, but also give them a trendy high-end place to live close to the plant.
Hi, this is MXUX. I just want to go over a bit of what was said during that broadcast. Foxconn National Innovation and Training Center for EV Industry will be opened in Lordstown, Ohio. It's a national innovation and training center. This is to train people for the battery electric vehicle industry. Now, I want to use a quote here, and I got a double quote here. It's pretty close. This is the VP of Business and Product Development for Foxconn Electric Vehicles. He's speaking about, again, the jewel in Foxconn's crown, the plant they own, the former Lordstown Motors plant, at which Lordstown Motors is located, and also a joint venture partner in their MIH electric vehicle development joint venture. He says of this facility and this capability of bespoke EV manufacturing, up to 20 companies may be clients. I think we have about 5 companies signed up right now. That would include Lordstown Motors. So we're looking at, depending on how they count it, 15 or 16 more clients. I can tell you that this facility can very easily handle that. I have mentioned before that electric vehicles take up 70% less resources to manufacture, and that includes people and also floor space. So what they have here is there's a large recruiting demand for production center for the production for these 20 companies, and this center, which is what Rick Raj was talking about there, the center is versus putting an ad on LinkedIn. So they're going to offer training, and let's just go through the details to date. Up to 20 companies may be clients. This is big news. This is hidden. I don't think he would have said that if there wasn't a grain of truth to it. And he certainly is making a plea for workers. Now, the details provided on this National Training Center. Software coding and control engineers are going to be trained in it. Other non-degreed people and degreed people who are seeking advanced training can apply to be part of this national training program. Again, it seems to be centered on science, engineering, and software, which YSU is known for. Youngstown State University, which this will be essentially a accredited extension of, is known for its STEM education, engineering, software, the hard sciences, chemistry, and so forth. However, other non-degree advanced training will be offered. This will be located at the plant site in Lordstown, Ohio. And again, the idea here is to attract new talent and attract new talent, meaning, people out of school or people just starting their careers, and also to attract those wanting to update their skills, those with existing experience. So they're using this as a training and recruiting tool for Foxconn. It's a training resource offered to the candidates and a recruiting tool for Foxconn. I love Foxconn. They always do this half a loaf. They're willing to give up part of what they're doing to benefit the other party. This is win-win negotiating. In this case, they're giving up the training to recruit the candidates. I think it's pretty fantastic. Foxconn will also provide housing for these individuals and most likely other employees. It's going to be modern, well-appointed housing near the Lordstown plant. This is the modus operandi for Foxconn. So they're looking at housing and educating technical staff for their efforts to pivot to the battery electric vehicle. And again, they want to use Foxconn speed. They are not fooling around. And this is, the paperwork is signed. They are doing this. I think the important thing to note here is up to 20 companies may be clients. That's, an increase of 75% over what's there now. And you may say, well, this is all Foxconn. What does Lordstown Motors have to do with it? Well, Lordstown Motors is a joint venture partner with Foxconn in the MIH Electric Vehicle Development LLC. They are joined at the waist to develop battery electric vehicles at the Lordstown facility. At this point in time, Lordstown Motors is the technical staff. I would not doubt that many of these individuals will be either working closely with or most certainly under the direction of Lordstown Motors inside the joint venture agreement. I don't know what Foxconn's long-term plans are, but certainly the short and intermediate-term plans are to use Lordstown Motors. And Lordstown Motors is a 45% owner in this joint venture and will generate revenues from all the activities this joint venture undertakes. Also, under certain circumstances, we'll have the right to distribute models developed on the MIH platform under this joint venture in North America. That's Canada, the United States, and Mexico. Also, the revenue from this joint venture will fund the contract manufacturing of the Lordstown Endurance electric pickup truck for distribution in North America. That is Canada, the USA, and Mexico. And I think many people may have forgotten this. Under the sale agreement and the joint venture agreement, Foxconn has the right to distribute the Endurance electric pickup truck throughout the rest of the globe, paying royalties and so forth to Lordstown for each unit sold. This is a very exciting time. I think both of these companies, again, with Foxconn's win-win style, this is all coming together, and we can see here up to 20 companies may be clients. That comes from the VP of Business Development at Foxconn, electric vehicles. I think we can take that to the bank. This is very exciting news. A breadcrumb. We got a qualifier in there, May. In my opinion, I don't think this would even come up in conversation unless this was going to happen. And of course, this training center, which is actually an extension of a state university, an accredited state university, I believe this is the first of its kind in the world, and a very exciting development. As I said, Youngstown State University has been known for supplying engineering talent, software talent, scientific talent, chemists to the local industries in what was once the Steel Valley, and now it's the BEV belt, and it is Voltage Valley. Hi, this is MXUX. I just, as an explanation point, everyone is probably saying, well, this is Foxconn. What does it have to do with Lordstown Motors? Let me just go through this real quick. This is a derivation of a flow chart I am developing, I guess. You got Foxconn, you got Lordstown. Now, in this piece, Rick Raj says, we got 20 potential customers that want to use our services. So this is what happens when they come to Foxconn Lordstown. Customers have a concept or a show car that they want to take to market on a bespoke MIH platform. Now there is the de rigueur MIH platform, and then this is modified and tweaked depending on the needs of the customer for their particular vehicle. The IDEV1, for example, may have different wiring requirements for the PC that's involved and so forth. In any case, the customer comes, let's say it's ID1, and this is the example I used in a previous video. They come, they say, we want you to build a bespoke vehicle for us on the MIH platform, but we want you to to modify that platform and get this vehicle into production for us. So what they do afterwards is they come on down here. Who they meet with? You would think it would be Foxconn, and it probably is Foxconn. Don't get me wrong. But the nuts and bolts, roll up your sleeves, is the MED, the Motion and Harmony Electric Vehicle Development LLC joint venture. This was part of the sale of the Lordstown plant. Dan Niavaji and Mr. Hightower worked this out, and Mr. Kroll. This is the essence of what is going on at Lordstown. This is why basically everything that happens with Foxconn in Ohio or in the United States really is related to Lordstown at this point in time. Now, they have signed this joint venture agreement. Foxconn, this is a new business entity. This is a limited liability corporation. Foxconn is a 55% owner. Lordstown Motors is a 45% owner. Let's start with the Lordstown Motors side over here. Here's what they're going to do. The customer's going to come to the MED. First people they're going to meet with are the Lordstown people. Probably the first people they're going to meet with is the VP of Business Development for Foxconn, who was in that interview. In any case, the next person they're going to meet with is Lordstown Motors, most likely Hightower, Darren Post, maybe some other people. Lordstown Motors is going to take their concept drawings or their show car that's plywood and fiberglass, or what their concept is, what they want to do conceptually. First thing they're going to do is they're going to get the design. Okay, they're going to do, the final specs on the interior and the exterior. Then they're going to do the engineering. whatever bespoke tailoring. You got to look at this as Lordstown Motors is the tailor that's going to tailor the fit, and Foxconn is the seamstress who's going to mass manufacture the garment. So let's just go with this here. LMC is going to design the body. They're going to engineer, the electrical system or any other special engineering that needs to happen there, related to crash testing and drive systems and so forth. Battery sizes. Lordstown Motors is going to go through the development, alpha, beta, and up to a pre-production vehicle. Excuse me. They're going to crash test for this client, make sure this gets passes all crash tests. They're going to certify that all the parts are past basic certification, material certification, that they're all identified and so forth. They're going to homologate this vehicle, which, as I understand, makes it saleable in the United States, but they also can homologate for worldwide sale. Make sure it meets all the basic requirements. And, they're going to get the other EPA ratings and all of the other certifications that come along with that. Lordstown Motors is going to do all of this, take it right up to the pre-production vehicle, have it ready to go. They're going to do all the program management for this segment. So they're going to keep juggling all these balls in the air for these 20 different clients. Okay. When they're done with this design, this tailoring of the this bespoke tailoring of the MIH platform, they're going to turn it over to the seamstress, who's going to mass produce it, and that's Foxconn. Foxconn, likely Lordstown Motors, is going to go through the assembly process, set up the assembly steps. I do know, as I mentioned before, Lordstown Motors has one of the best automotive quality person, of the highest quality person, and I am sure they are heavily involved, especially with the Endurance. Looks fantastic. I'm sure they'll be involved with this. But Foxconn is going to go through the certification and the bill of materials, which lists all the parts that are necessary. They are going to organize the supply line. They're going to get the just-in-time inventory together. They are going to get the stampings of the body panels. All of this they're going to do, down to every little nut and bolt. This is what they do. And Foxconn, by the way, for the iPhone, they do this. They supply over 90% of the components, and I'm sure this is going to be the same for the MIH project here once they get rolling. I mean, at this point, they're still going to have others. Now, they're going to take all of these bill of material items. Every item that's needed to build that car is in the bill of materials. They're going to work out the supply line and the logistics for all those supplies for these 20 vehicles in this case. And they are going to have this ballet of trucks coming in and parts being... They're going to assemble this vehicle. And that is called contract manufacturing. And you've seen the interior of the Foxconn plants in China. Lordstown Motors is a little different. You're probably saying, does Lordstown... I think we've got a total number of vehicles now that reaches 25. If these 20 suggested customers come on board. Does Lordstown Motors have, does the Lordstown Ohio plant have the capacity to build? Yes, they do. They can, first of all, under the old manufacturing, they could do 3 different ICE vehicles on the same line at the same time. This is a totally different manufacturing process. But as I mentioned before, to manufacture a battery electric vehicle takes 70% less space and 70% less staff. Okay? So, yes, they have room. And I'm sure Foxconn will double or triple that plant if need be. And they're going to contract manufacture this vehicle according to the specs and everything else that Lordstown Motors has developed. This is what Lordstown Motors does, and this is what Foxconn is so great at, and so great at keeping costs down and the two of these, by splitting up these duties, they call it Foxconn Speed, and by using a basic MIH platform, which they are going to tailor for each customer, are going to reduce the production times, and they're going to get these vehicles out the door. I don't know. I mean, Hightower said 2 years from concept to finished vehicle. You know, it might be less than that when they're tailoring the MIH platform, at least once they get going. But let's say 2 years. But this is how this works. And the end result is they go from, we got a concept we want to do. After Lordstown Motors and Foxconn get through with them, there's a finished battery electric vehicle ready for commercial sale by the customer with their badging on it. It's a unique design to them. They have a bespoke tailored MIH platform underneath it. And this is how it's going to work. And they're going to say, Foxconn, we want 100,000 of these. And Foxconn's going to say, sure, no problem. Anyway, now, this is a really great system. They're not constantly reinventing the wheel. Now, what's important to note here is Foxconn owns 55% of this. Lordstown Motors owns 45% of this. How much they're going to charge, how these revenues are going to be paid, what the final split of the money is going to be, this is all up to the CFO and the CFO of the LLC, of course. Hightower is the CEO and chairman, on the board anyway, of Lordstown Motors. He is also the CEO and on the board of this joint venture. So he is the CEO of this process. That is, Lordstown Motors CEO is also the CEO of this joint venture. But in any case, what's going to happen is these profits are going to be split in some predetermined way. You can read the contract. I have a link in the description. And Lordstown Motors is going to use this revenue, along with other revenue they generate from sales, and they are going to go to Foxconn. And Foxconn is going to contract manufacture their vehicles with the revenue they generate from this LLC, and also from the sales of their vehicles and so forth. But so in effect, Lordstown Motors is going to be a customer of Foxconn as well. And if you look at the Endurances that are out now, they're going to do a great job. Anyway, I'm working on getting this perfected, this flow chart, but nobody seems to get this, especially the business analysts, the business press, the pit toilet of the internet, Reddit. No one seems to understand anything about this there. But anyway, I hope you guys like this. This was a addendum to this presentation. Thanks very much for checking this out, and let's get back to your regular programming.